Hello and welcome to another episode of Game on Onesies. I am Raptor, and this is Red Dead Redemption 2. I am doing a post-commentary here on a whole bunch of the different fishing that I did in search of the 13 legendary fish. In the 2 or 3 previous episodes that we did, we got 2 of them, so this is my journey to get the other 11. And we're starting off with the legendary bluegill. This one took quite a while to catch. It was not dark when I started, or not this dark. It seemed like, I'm not sure if it's part of the game, but it definitely seemed to me like it started off easy, because as I went along, I started to have more and more trouble with each one. I think the longest one took me about 16 minutes, but I cut out all of that, so that each one of these is about a minute long, give or take. And I made sure to show exactly where I am so that if you want to follow in my footsteps and become another legendary fisherman, you can do that. And you'll probably be better at it than I am, because I'm not very good at this game. That clicking sound is very satisfying, though. Alright, so here we go. The first fish, and this one is a itty-bitty little one. But that is the legendary bluegill. Onwards to the next fish, which is going to be the legendary chain pickerel, as shown there. So this one is in that general direction. And here we go. Time to go fishing. Yeah, so sometimes I change the lure here. I always change the lure to what I want, but there's a big stream of them later where I don't really have to. So I only showed the clip of me changing the lure to what the lure you need for this particular fish if I actually had to change. And I didn't for the last couple of them. So we're just gonna kind of check out that beautiful scenery. When we get to the Sockeye Salmon, there was a part where I went up in the mountains off recording and I took a picture and it looked exactly like an actual mountain. So you can just see how much time and detail went into the game. But me personally, I think they should have spent less time on the graphics and more time on making the gameplay at higher frame rate, because who cares how nice the thing looks if it runs slowly? The whole point of the next generation was to get back to 40, or like, at least get to 60 frames per second, which is what the PS2 could do.
Easy does it. Easy.
There's only 2 games that I know of that I'm positive play at 60 frames, and that's Infamous Second Son and Diablo 3 on the PlayStation 4/Xbox One X. Alright, so next we're going to go get the legendary long-nosed gar, which is some kind of weird swordfish thing. So this one took me quite a while. Not as long as some of the other ones, but this one was a pretty long capture. This was a lot of fun to piece together. I decided to put these clips before the big clip because it seemed to make more sense in terms of like making sure that all the fish are in the same order that I caught them. And when it comes time for the main part, the big clip, where I actually did record commentary live, I even talk about what I'm going to do with the clips, because that was after I had already recorded all of them, but several months before I got around to sit down and edit them together and do this post-commentary. I think the original idea was to put music, but it would still be pretty boring, so I figured I'd just do a commentary on all of it. That water looks completely green. That's very unsettling. It looks like it's swimming in an ocean of snot. And here comes the gar. Hey, if you spell gar backwards, you get rag.
You're quite a fish. Gar?
Look at the size of that thing. It's almost as big as my penis. There you go, there's your obligatory penis joke. So, yeah, one of the challenges of capturing these big, gigantic fish is that it's kind of hard to get them back to your horse, because a lot of the time you have to fish in an area that's kind of an island. So, a lot of the struggles that I had, you probably won't see, because I cut most of it out, because I thought it would just be repetitive. But I think it's interesting how that little wrapping that goes around the fish appears out of nowhere. But let's go and do the legendary muskie, which is near the lighthouse near Van Horn Trading Post. And Cubanet Appeal. There you go. I fell over. But it's okay. I meant to do that. It's good for you. It builds character. So I thought this little island here would be cool. So I swam over here, not realizing that this might be a big fish. And it is a big fish. So I was like, oh, this will be fine. It's probably just a little small one that I can put in my pocket and then go. No, it's not. So here we go, switching up lure for the special river lure. And I cut out a lot of stuff for this one.
A little more. You're almost done.
Forget how long this one was. Let's see. For the legendary muskie, I can't even tell anymore. I cut down the clip to 100 and... No, I cut the clip down to 1 minute and 9 seconds. Whatever the actual duration was. Yeah. So look at the size of this guy. Look at him. That's bigger than your... That's bigger than your whole arm, Arthur. Look at that. 36 pounds of fish. That's enough for like 72 portions, because typically you would give less than a pound in one serving, because a 1 pound serving of fish would be a very, very big serving. And now it's time for the legendary perch, which is an Elysian pool. Rockstar seems to like the word Elysian. Elysian, I think, was the name of heaven in one sort of mythology, maybe Greek. Elysian Fields. They used it in L.A. Noire, and they're using it again here. So we're switching to the special lake lure, and here we go, fishing. Oh yeah, here we go, fishing. Well, I mean, this is all done in the present. The present or future? Present, I think, because that's the past. I don't know. I'm confusing myself. I like that clicking sound. Like I said, it's very satisfying.
Damn. What the hell?
It's a fish, Arthur. A legendary perch, and it's barely even 9 pounds, or 3 pounds. I don't know why these itty bitty little fish are considered legendary. I mean, I guess 2 pounds is big for that fish. And here's the legendary smallmouth bass, which is near some area that I don't know how to pronounce. And you can see now that we've switched to a red shirt, because that's what the Star Trek people do when they want to get somebody killed. They send out a red shirt. I like the swimming mechanic in this game a lot more than or the fishing mechanic in this game a lot more than I like the hunting, but again, it's not without its flaws. The game never stops teaching you how to play, and a lot of the time with these, it's not even telling you how to play properly, or it's not giving you clear directions, which I mentioned later in the live commentary, so I'll leave my past self for that, because that was recorded live a couple months ago when this was originally recorded, and this is being recorded on September 9th, 2019. And it's just a Sunday, so I got to go back for my second week of school tomorrow. But I don't have to be in class until 1, so that's pretty cool. You know what else is cool? Arthur's shirt and fishing.
Come here.
How does fishing line not break? It's not like it's garrote wire or something. It's a fishing line. With these 30-pound fish, you'd think it would break from the weight. See, that's like a 22-pound fish.
Keeping you, I'm afraid.
There, see, where did that wrapping blanket come from? It just appears out of nowhere. Oh no, I dropped my fish. Now I gotta go fishing for my fish. There's something fishy about that. Is the word fish starting to sound weird to you? Pick it up and get it out of here then. Alright, so here we go for the Sockeye Salmon. This one was fun. This is one of my best ones. And this is where I got the that beautiful landscape. Maybe I'll throw it in at the end of the video, just as a little thing. I called it RDR2 Earthborn, and I put it on Reddit because it was just so pretty. It was a beautiful mountain shot. thought it was very convenient how it just so happened that there was a nice bit of thawed water in here, because normally in a place like this you'd think it'd be ice fishing, but you don't have to be. I don't know why this thing is called a Sockeye Salmon. It should be called the Red Salmon. Look at it. Look at how red this thing is. Look at that. It's just pure red. I think that was the biggest legendary I got, with 54 pounds. And that breaks all of the other previous catching records I got. Even the even that other fish that I caught on the bridge in the third episode of that catfish quest thing that I did. Forget what fish that was now, but...
Yep.
And here I am trying to find where my horse is. At this point, the horse's name is Ruby, so I'm trying to figure out where she ended up. There, and yeah, so I ended up going in circles for a little while. But we found each other again because we are close as peas in a pod, which is a very silly saying. So put the fish up here, and now we're on to the... I think this is the last one, or second to last one? No, there's still 2 more. Okay, cool. So now we've got this pretty waterfall here, and it's making a lot of noise. Look at the way the moonlight reflects off of the water. That's very pretty. I think this one took me quite a while, too. I think this one took me like 7 or 8 minutes. But I think the longest one was the Sockeye Salmon. I think that one took about 16 minutes to catch. I think. I would have to go back and look, because after all the cropping I've done, Premiere isn't showing me how long these clips are. There, it's a 30-pound fish right there.
You're staying with me.
And there comes Ruby trying to get to me. Such a good horse. Drop the fish down there. And now we switch to John Marston in the epilogue here, because this one is to the west of Blackwater in the Aurora Basin. This one did not take very long at all. This one was one of the easiest ones, actually, so I barely had to cut anything out. Actually, both of the fish with that I got with John Marston, I think I had to catch 3 of them. Yeah, I think I had to catch 3. There's this one, and then the third one was not easy, but the first one and the second one were quite easy, so I barely had to do any editing. I mean, it is a very small fish, but that doesn't mean anything. There are some small ones like that were pretty hard to get. And that's a pretty small fish, but it's bigger than that satchel. I don't know where he's putting all that stuff. Alright, so that's that done, and then the very last one we're going to have to do is the legendary pickerel, legendary redfin pickerel, to be specific, and that is in Stillwater Creek, yeah, which is, I don't know, it's in that general area. Yeah, there you go. It's closer to what it is. That just looks like a pile of mud, and there's apparently fish swimming in there. That's kind of gross. But again, it's very pretty. Kind of looks like the ring dike near where I grew up. Well, technically I grew up in Winnipeg. Then after that we moved out to the country, and it kind of looks like the ring dike area. So we're going to catch this fish, and then I'm going to turn you guys over to the past version of myself for the live commentary for the second half of this video, where we're going to get the final legendary fish, which is the legendary largemouth bass. And we're going to come into that in the middle of a pretty dire situation. So, yeah. And just be warned that there are going to be quite a bit of spoilers, but I have done you the courtesy of adding a spoiler warning so that you know exactly what time code to skip to. Alright, so I hope you enjoyed my post commentary, and now I'm going to switch you over to the live commentary in 3, 2, 1. Bye bye. Hello and welcome to another episode of Game on Onesies. I'm Raptor, and this is Red Dead Redemption 2. We're in the epilogue right now, playing as John Marston, and I am in a horrible position. As you can see, they're investigating me. So, some of you may or may not already know this. Spoiler alert, skip a little bit further into the video if you don't want to have the ending of Red Dead Redemption 2 spoiled for you. Your horse dies at the end, and so does Arthur, and a lot of other people in the gang. There's nothing you can do. It dies. And it's supposed to die, so it's not like there's an opportunity for me to go and get a reviver, because in that point of the story, Arthur has to run, and he has to just leave Ruby behind. So it was bad enough that I lost Ruby, who I really loved. Like, I don't see why she had to die. Why couldn't Marston inherit Ruby, too? He inherited Arthur's journal. Like, what is he going to do with that? What do I need the journal for? I would much rather have had Ruby. The journal doesn't do anything. It's the quest log which you need, but that's something else entirely. So, John ends up with a horse named Rachel at the start of the epilogue, and I had Rachel for a while, but unfortunately she also died very recently, and like 10 minutes ago. I was looking around, doing some exploration, because at this point I have one more legendary fish to find, and I have to unlock this area so that I can figure out where exactly it is. I think it's in the river down here somewhere, but I haven't explored it yet. So on my way to Armadillo, I get attacked by some Mexican people, and they started shooting at me, and in the ensuing chaos, Rachel died. So I was without a horse, and all of their horses died because I had to fend them off with a shotgun. I was lucky to have survived that encounter at all, but I would have rather I died during it, because that would have reset everything. So Rachel died, and then there was no stable in Armadillo, so I had to take the carriage back to Valentine, and then I bought a new horse, named it Clementine, and then I was taking Clementine back to Beecher's Hope to go see Uncle, and I ended up accidentally riding off of a cliff while trying to evade some wolves, and Clementine died. Just instantly. She just hit the ground and she just died. I just bought her. I had her for all of 5 minutes, and she's dead. And I didn't have a chance to buy any horse revivers, so now I'm without a horse. I'm 2 horses down in the span of less than half an hour, and I don't have any money because all the money I had as Arthur is gone. I have less than $100. That's not enough to buy a horse. You get this bank loan from the bank in order to fix up Beecher's Hope, but you can't use the money from the bank that you got to buy a horse or anything. So I cannot buy a horse. So I tried to steal a horse by shooting some guy in a carriage, but then that spooked the horse, and then it ran away, and so then I had to chase after this horse, and then there were more wolves, so I had to fight them off, and then when I finally caught up to the horse and got on, by that point the law was on me, so I had to run, and the horse hadn't bonded to me at this point because I had just stolen it, so I wasn't able to whistle for it, and now I'm still without a horse, and I still don't have any money. Well, I understand why they did it, and it definitely adds realism. Most of the time I would be okay with this, but now I'm kind of pissed off because I just bought that horse. So that's $150 that I cannot get back. $150. And that's the cheapest horse that I could find. At the beginning of the game, you could buy that one horse for $15. Whatever happened to that? Shouldn't the game just, like, give you a mulligan and make sure that you don't end up accidentally running out of your last horse? And, like, I'm trying to find a horse, but I can't because everything I try doesn't work. Ugh. Well, let's see what happens if I head back to Beecher's Hope. Maybe there'll be a horse there or something. Maybe, because I don't have enough money to get one. And Sadie is a bounty hunter now, so I could do a mission for her, but I have to have a horse to get to her, is the problem. Oh, I do have a horse. It's just a random horse. Yeah, okay, so the game does give you a mulligan. It just gives me a random horse. But I gotta go inside here, because I don't like this scruffy beard. Where'd the fireplace come from? Can I even shave in here? Is there one of those things set up for me? Looks like it's not quite finished on the inside yet, but it's getting there. Yeah, it's still under construction. I don't think I can shave. It just kind of annoys me in this one how they have the wolf scars. I always thought they were on both sides of his face, but it looks like they're just on the one side. His other cheek seems okay. I thought that was a weird thing in the first game. He just had these weird lines on his beard that would never, was unexplained, and it makes sense that they actually explained what exactly they are now. No, that's not what I want to wear. There, that's what I want. Okay. I don't like those gloves, and I don't like those pants, so I made this. So now what am I supposed to do here? Go talk to Uncle? Is Sadie around? To do no other bounty? I mean, it doesn't really matter at this point, because I got a horse now, but... Oh, right, we were going to go exploring now. That's what we were going to do. And hope that I don't run into more of those freaky Mexican dudes, because they killed my horse. Yeah, I think it's down by this river, the last legendary fish. So we have to go do that. I get how Arthur passed on his satchel and most of his weapons and stuff to John, but how does John know to send the fish that he's been catching to Jeremy Gill? Arthur met Jeremy Gill. John never met him. He shouldn't even know this guy's address. And Jeremy Gill shouldn't know who he is either. I guess the only explanation for that is that some people might not even start that mission until after they're playing as John. But in my case, I didn't. So it doesn't really make sense how that happens, but whatever. This is probably going to be the final recorded episode that I do of Red Dead Redemption 2, because now I'm going to start playing Red Dead 1, and prior to playing this, I had only really dabbled in it, and I hadn't really done very much in it. I did a lot of hunting and running around and bounties, but I didn't really progress the story or get invested in it like I did with this one. Like, I played the shit out of this game. There were some days where I had to fight against my addiction to actually get up and do other things besides just playing. But it's harder to record from the PS3 because I have to set up everything and I have to use the capture software. So I don't know if I'll make any videos of it. I may or may not. Maybe a couple. But I have been recording every other legendary fish that I caught. I just did just the catching part and just like showing where I am. So I'm probably going to edit that all together into a little montage. And I thought about doing a sort of a collection or like a mission of getting all the fish, but it would be very boring because all I would be doing would be fishing. Because I was basically just going there and doing this. But I decided to start with the bullhead catfish because that was the first fish that I did. So I kind of anticipated that it was going to be a little bit trickier for me to get started. But then after that, which are the 2 episodes I recorded, or the 3 episodes I think it became, because I caught that second legendary fish. But then after that, most of the places where the legendary fish were already sort of there. So I just kind of rode over there, caught the fish, and then rode to the next one and caught the fish. So it would have been boring, which is why I opted to just record just the catching part without any commentary. So when it gets to be that time, I can edit them all together after I finish catching this last one, which we have to find first. I was actually in another tricky position earlier when I was trying to mail the 2 fish that I caught as John. Because you can only catch so many as Arthur, because 3 of the 4 or 3 of the 13 are located in the area past Blackwater, which you can't access until the epilogue, much to my surprise. I thought that if I outran the bounty hunters, I could get past it, but you literally can't go there. The wanted dead or alive thing isn't just a status because of the actions of your deed. It's actually like a boundary that the game puts there to block you from going any farther. And then once it gets into the epilogue, then you can go there. Because even if you outrun the bounty hunters, you'll just randomly die before you get too far. And it's like your head just explodes, or it's like you get sniped by an invisible person with an invisible bullet that doesn't show up on your map, but it kills you anyway. Alright, I think we're getting close to the area where Rachel died. It's kind of annoying. Just being randomly attacked by a bunch of men, like... I need some kind of a warning. Especially when dying is such an irritating setback in this game. Because it takes away some of your money, and then it puts you far away, and then it'll take away all your cores, and in a lot of cases you'll lose some of the stuff that you had on you. And they'll just throw people at you and just expect you to be able to handle yourself and kill them. It's kind of dumb and annoying. I'm hoping that the questing is going to be a little bit better in the first game, because a lot of the time that I fail missions, I feel like it's something that I had no control over. Like, we were doing this one, like the last bounty hunter mission I did with Sadie Adler. She was rushing forward, and I was focusing on sniping people on the rocks. And while you're in the scope mode, the game doesn't tell you, like, or doesn't let you see where Sadie is. So all of a sudden the screen will flash white and it'll say Sadie died. It's like, so? How was I supposed to stop that? I'm doing what the game told me. I'm sitting here shooting people with my gun. I'm not dead. So why do I fail the mission if she dies? Or, like, a lot of the time, like, when we're running away from people, one thing I'm not good at all is riding and shooting at the same time, which is why some of the final missions in the game were so aggravating to me, is because I don't understand how the game expects you to do this, and then because you have to stop, do this, bring out a weapon, and then you like, see, look, your horse will come to a complete stop. If the horse would automatically steer during that part when you pull out your gun, then it would be fine, but it doesn't. So it ends up getting to this part where I'm expected to drive a little bit, pull out my gun, shoot someone, then stop, drive a little bit, pull out my gun and shoot someone, and I'm not very good at that. So a lot of the time I'll end up failing missions because, like, the people that I could be shooting if I was better at it, like, the people that I could be shooting will be shooting at other people. So either I'll die, or Dutch will die, or Dutch's horse will die, or, like, just anyone in general. And then I fail the mission for that, and it's like, you expect me to be able to do that? Like, I have to focus on my own health here. Why do I fail the mission if the crew member dies? Why are they even able to die at all in a mission? That doesn't accomplish anything. Especially in characters that we know are in Red Dead 1. I'm also kind of afraid because during the last few parts of the story, because of how many shootouts there were, and because of how many times Dutch and all my other people were dying, or how many times I was just in a position where I couldn't win, I would just skip the checkpoint because it was frustrating me. And I didn't want to get angry at a video game, so I would just bypass that part and go to the next one. And I don't know if Red Dead 1 has that, so it might be really challenging, not in a bad way, but, you know, it's just that it could be really challenging because I don't know if you can skip like that. Alright, now let's see. What does my book say? Hang on. I have it right here. Okay, here. So this one is located in the San Luis River near something called Lake Don Julio. All right. Well, it looks like this is the San Luis River, and it looks like there's a body of water right here. Maybe this is the one I need. I don't know. That picture's very small. Let's see what happens if I go to it. Although the one thing that I thought was kind of funny is because of the way that you can skip things, in a lot of cases, I was purposefully failing, like blowing myself up or like screwing up a stealth thing or something just so that I could fail it 3 times. And I mean, if I want to get the gold medals, eventually I'll have to get better at it, but to get that one trophy, you have to get 70 gold medals. And when you start a mission, the game doesn't even tell you that you're being graded. So how are you supposed to know what you have to do in order to get these things? I'm pretty sure that after you do that, it'll tell you what it is. But I don't think it tells you when you first get the mission. Unless you, like, pause the menu and, like, unless you pause the game instinctively and check the mission to see what there is to do. Okay, what is that? Is that the lake? Yeah, okay. This is the lake. So I think our fish is going to be somewhere over there-ish. Okay, so let's just get this final one here. And then I won't have to worry about recording that one in the montage thingy. I think we're in Mexico now. I always thought that Red Dead 1 took place in America too, but no, I think it takes place in Mexico. Because this definitely doesn't look like anything in the earlier game with all these cactuses and sand roads and just bushes. I never noticed until I came here how much of a difference there was in the landscapes. I think this should be it. I don't know if this is a big fish or a small fish. I haven't been paying attention to what exactly it is. Is this the right thing? You're going to tell me that I found the legendary spot? There we go. Alright, now, let's see. So it says we should use the river lure for it. And let's position ourselves. I'm trying to compare this to the book that I have here. Let's put ourselves right there, and then we'll fish from that point. I'm not sure why, but the way that John's thing looks, it kind of looks like he's wearing a corset because his vest is making his waist skinny. Okay, here we go. Let's grab the fishing rod. Fishing rod. Thank you. And we're gonna use the river lure.
How's about this?
Alright, here we go. The final legendary fish. After this, all I have to do is get it back to a post office and mail it without my horse dying, hopefully. Whoa, I felt that! So it turns out that I was doing this thing wrong. I figured it out earlier, but when it tells you to move the R thing around while it's fighting, it actually means to click R3 and then hold it to stop it from pulling away. But it actually shows the right stick, which makes it seem like you have to move the right stick around, which is what I had been doing until I figured out that that's not what it at what you do.
A little more.
This is the big one. Not going anywhere. Come here, you. Come here, you.
Kidding me, damn line.
Ah. See, and it tells me to use the L to control it instead of reeling it in. I was controlling it. I know how to fish. It got away because the line broke. It's kind of a dumb thing how using the thing that's supposed to make the line not break can, or that's supposed to prevent it from pulling away, makes the line more likely to break. That's dumb. It defeats the purpose of it. If the line's gonna break, then it probably would be better off to just reel it in the traditional way. I am pulling down on the L button. Stop telling me how to play the game. I know what I'm doing.
Come on.
Oh, it's close now. It's close. I think it's going to be a pretty... Yeah, there, see? Push and hold R in any direction. It doesn't say hold R3. R represents the right analog stick. Damn it!
Okay.
Like in a lot of instances, you can actually see the fish. It's so close to the thing. Just go in and pick it up at that point. I'm going to try putting it closer to the edge so maybe I won't have to reel it in so much. Whoa! Got him! He's right there. He's right there. See, like, how can the fish get away in an instance like that? He's right there. He's right there.
Oh, you gotta be...
Like, he was right there! I can see it! Just pick up the fish! He jumped...
Let's see what's what now.
He jumped! He was so close. He was on the surface! I've had a couple of other ones like that during my adventures with these silly legendary fish. The bigger ones are always hard to catch. Annoyingly hard. Because rotating the thing like that, it starts to hurt after a while. Oh, okay. Put your rod in there, then. Put it in there really good. Maybe I'll actually get it something this time. Whoa, there we go. It's right at the surface again. Look at it. He's right there. Come here, you son of a bitch. You're right there. Nope, you're not getting away. Come on, you stupid fish. You're right there. I can physically see you.
Come on.
There.
That's you. All right.
Oh, look at that one. 25 pounds. Oh, you're mine. Oh, horsey. It doesn't have a name because I didn't get a chance to name it. Alright, come here. Horse of indeterminate gender. Alright, Now let's take it to Armadillo. Does Armadillo even have a post office? No, I don't think they do. Balls. And I don't think I can take the stagecoach either. So it looks like I'm gonna have to go up to Blackwater, which is over here. Blackwater is a lot smaller than I thought it was going to be. I figured it was going to be gigantic like Saint Denis. It would make more sense for them to be pulling such a gigantic job from a gigantic city, but Blackwater's pretty small. It's barely bigger than Valentine. Or at least it doesn't feel that big. Alright, well, I'm going to get this thing back to the post office. And that's all I have. That's all the time I have for this episode of Game on Onesies. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you right back here. Where is this game taking me? Like, we just did a 90-degree angle. Or like a 180. Sometimes this little director thing is dumb. Like, there was a part where we were in Guarma, and I was using it to try and find Dutch, and it led me through the territory where I was literally shot on sight because we were wanted dead or alive in the entire thing, when really all I had to do was just cross the desert, or it was just cross a river. But the game, when I put the marker on it, it took me all the way around the area and I died. Anyway, that's all the time I have for this episode of Game on Onesies. Thank you for joining me, and I hope to see you right back here in the very near future where we'll play some other games. Maybe gonna do some Red Dead 1 recording, not 100% sure yet. But I now have all 13 legendary fish. I don't remember what the reward is, but I don't think it's anything incredible. I think it's a spinner or something, which is pointless because I've already caught all the fish. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed my Red Dead Redemption 2 videos, and I'll see you some of the time in the near future for another game on the channel. And until then, peace out, and as always, game on. See ya!